second honorable mention we have tonight is going to be led by our second judge, Fiona Reid, who is must be known to most people in this room. She's an award-winning stage and screen actress, member of the Order of Canada, and a vice president of the Actors Fund of Canada. Please welcome Fiona Reid.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be part of this, and what a marvelous way to continue the legacy of this remarkable man. And I really appreciate it. It's pathetic fallacy, isn't it? With the siren going by just as the La Presse reporters were speaking, I thought that was rather perfect. Tonight we recognize the editor and staff of the Vancouver province for their 16-part series, Racism in Paradise. This series dealt in depth with the increasingly multicultural face of BC's Lower Mainland and the permutations of racism in regards to First Nations peoples as well as Chinese, South Asian and Japanese Canadians. This project was painstaking and broad-reaching in its scope and investigation. It dealt with the history of racism in BC, affecting its descendants even today, residential schools and the Indian Act, the notorious head tax on Chinese immigrants in the early 1900s, the ship the Komagata-Maru, which in 1914 sailed from India with 376 mostly Sikhs on board and languished in Vancouver's harbour for 2 months before being turned back. The devastating effect of Canada's internment of Japanese Canadians during World War II, how property and immigration laws kept certain ethnic groups away from areas, if not from Canada altogether. Racism in Paradise went deep, exploring discrimination within cultures that continues even today, when certain traditions may come head-to-head with Canada's values. It examined the conflict that can pose for first-generation Canadians with their families and friends. Community leaders told sometimes shocking stories of their experiences growing up in BC. They spoke of the negative effects of prejudice from without and discrimination within their own communities. These stories pulled no punches. They were highly personal, while the context was factual and the topics exhaustively researched. This series had a profound impact on the readership at large, engendering many letters and comments on all media, as well as a public forum in concert with the Laurier Institution, which raised many contentious issues. The newspaper took readers' concerns to the federal and provincial ministers of immigration and multiculturalism. It provided many insights into why we think as we do and how we can more effectively manage situations that may give rise to racist attitudes. The paper's reporting spawned much debate and revealed difficult scenarios, not the least amongst so-called white Canadians, some of whom have had trouble adapting to the changing faces of the Lower Mainland. We on the jury felt that Racism in Paradise was journalism with a strong social purpose. It focused on social injustice and presented constructive solutions. It took a complex, murky, and sensitive issue and researched it thoroughly in all of its ramifications and complexity. The public response was justifiably vibrant, engaged, and often contentious. There's a quote by Sid Tan, who appears in one of the videos that accompanied the series. Tan said, "An uncomfortable history of racism in BC and Canada needs to be confronted if we're to truly grasp the way our past has shaped us and to move forward beyond past prejudices." And that's exactly what this series did. Racism in Paradise helped us confront our past, our uneasy present, and our hopes for the future in a changing and increasingly multicultural Canada. It's most deserving of this recognition. I'd like to now bring to the stage Gerry Nott from Post Media, who's going to accept on behalf of the editors and staff of the Vancouver province.
I do feel a little like a bit of a poser here tonight because I'm probably the only one in the room who wasn't officially invited. I'm here because my friend and colleague Lou Clancy could not make it tonight, and he himself was representing Wayne Moriarty, the editor of the Vancouver Province. So I appreciate the invitation. Thank you very much. It's a terrific evening. These are Wayne's words. After noticing an alarming undercurrent of racism on the website of the Vancouver Province, Deputy Editor Raz Guji spent weeks last spring speaking with community leaders to get their input on a worrisome trend. Those conversations resulted in the most ambitious multi-platform journalism project ever undertaken in the history of the province, a body of work that was to involve a quarter of the 60-person staff for over 5 months. It was an extraordinary commitment of resources and time for the province. The project was difficult. It was controversial and deeply engaged the community. The province was challenged to explore racism without provoking it or becoming a platform for it. Their attention to social media feeds paid off by keeping the discussion constructive, not destructive. The province delivered its 16-part series in a multi-platform environment using the tools of great narrative reporting, beautiful photography, infographics, videos, and sound slides. That work was also rewarded yesterday as well with a National Newspaper Award nomination in the Project of the Year category. If my friend and colleague, Province Editor Wayne Moriarty, were here, he would say 2 more things, and I'm quoting him. I'm so pleased that the Hillman Selection Committee found our work on the Racism Project worthy of this runner-up prize. Racism is a difficult subject on which to shine a light. I thought we tackled the issues with courage, intelligence, and caring. Great to learn the judges thought so too. Secondly, he would proudly point out that the lead editor on this project retired last month. For those who don't know Raz Guji, she has had her hand in more award-winning work at the province than arguably any editor in the country in any newsroom. This recognition is as much a tribute to her great journalism as it is the staff at the province, and richly, richly deserved. Thank you very much on behalf of the province.